So that when you were 17, right? When you were 17, you saw a movie, Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. And that movie, started something in your brain. Talk to us about exposure. Why is that important that we expose ourselves to positive things? Because we never can tell what that can trigger in us.
All right, so I'm going to start off with this quote, and I'm also going to end with this quote as well, right? And the quote goes, you need to see more to be more.
Come on now.
You need to see more to be more. You can only dream as much as your imagination can take you, and your imagination can only imagine as much as it has seen before. We're human beings, like our brain processes stuff like computers. So I just finished high school in Lagos, Nigeria. And whilst my friends were getting ready to obviously write their WAEC exam, I knew like the classroom wasn't exactly meant for me. So I was already trying to kick off a business idea in my head. I actually wanted to go do transportation business. I had done the whole math and everything, and I wanted to be a bus owner. Well, I'd calculated everything, and I went to one of the best high schools in Lagos, like very expensive. You know, my family had spent a lot of money sending me there, and only for me to come back. You understand? I mean, we were in Lagos at the time, only for me to come back home, and I'm telling them that I want to do bus business. They're like my mom is thinking, like, the only thing she could see at the time was my son wants to be standing in a bus park, Nigeria. So I couldn't speak to my mom about it properly because she wasn't on it. So I had to start going to family members. It obviously, you know how uncles and aunties are, come today, come tomorrow, come today, come tomorrow, come today, come. They put together Excel spreadsheet, proposal, this, I went to do blah, blah. I was barely 17. And then one day, obviously, I was just knackered and beat up. I think it's God, to be honest. For every time they've asked me this question and I've narrated the story, today is the first time I'm actually acknowledging the fact that I stumbled on that movie that day because of God. Yes, I won't lie to you. I just turned 30. Today is what?
Yeah, happy birthday again. Yeah.
Thank you. I just turned 30. And turning 30, I just made me realize a lot of things is God, but let me not digress. So I'm exhausted on the dining table. I'm eating. My uncle, who is in the table, because our house is actually what happened. So my uncle at the time, who was obviously my grandfather's only son, me and him are just in the living room. And I'm just so beat up. I'm so exhausted from all the running around and all the come today, come tomorrow for my boss business. You know, I'm just eating food on the dining table, and he's watching the movie, and the movie happens to be Wall Street Money Never Sleeps by Michael Douglas and Shia LaBeouf. And when I'm watching the movie, and in the movie, I kid you not, this guy, he's a young investment banker, right? Trader / investment. And I'm just like, this guy is young. I like New York. Buildings look nice. Okay, so now I'm interested, right? And this guy is wearing a nice suit. I don't even see me on my Instagram. I'm always very
so the Rolex, man.
He caught my attention, and I was like, okay, now I'm watching the thing, and then in the movie, the guy gets a bonus check for about $1.4 million US. Wait. What? So I asked my uncle, please, DSTV, press I. I said, please press I. Let me wait and see. I. So he pressed the I, and I read it like, oh, it's a Wall Street trader and blah, blah, blah. So I'm watching the movie. The guy has a very nice apartment in Manhattan. He drives a BMW bike, because obviously overseas people ride their bikes. You can ride your bike to work, not like in the Western world and in West Africa where they feel like riding a bike is for. Like riding a bike overseas, nice BMW apartment in Manhattan, which is the equivalent to Canary Wharf, or maybe Bridge. He at the time Blackberries were in vogue, so it's called like nice girlfriend. So I'm like something. I saw after the movie was done. Obviously, I'm trying to have a conversation with my uncle. I'm like, yo, you need to tell me more about this stock market thing. Like, I need to be. I think I just found my calling, and just by watching the movie. Like, a lot of people always have fancy stories as to how they found their calling in life. Mine was just by watching the movie, and I'm going to own that with my chest. Yeah, that brings me back to my quote initially. You need to see more to be more. I saw Manhattan, real life on TV. And then after was done watching the movie, my auntie came home. One of my cousins, obviously my mom's cousin, she's my auntie. So she comes home and then a conversation with her about what I just discovered.
Yeah.
I've always been a bright kid, not bright in the classroom, but bright outside of the classroom. I've always been able to relate with like people way older than I am. So she comes and having a conversation with her, and I'm telling her, yo, like stocks, and I saw this guy. And she's like, why don't you start with the Nigerian stock market? You understand? Buy your local. I'm like, can I do that? She was like, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Carry on. Okay, that's fine. I'll give you me. I'll tell you everything. So, and she goes like, yeah, try the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And I was like, they got one here. She's like, yeah, you can. That what you can do is if you check the back of, she's like, check the back of the newspapers. If you look behind the newspapers, you see the closing price of the share.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, because in the movie you can see what they call tick charts, right?
Yes.
You see the prices.
Yes. On the screen, yeah.
Exactly. So that was so she was like, yeah, we have our own version of the tick chart. It's just behind the newspaper. Oh God. So so this is the evening. So I literally grab what's it called, the newspaper, and then I check it, and she goes, yeah, and she says to me, I think your grandfather, may so rest in peace. I think your grandfather had some shares. I see him like, daddy had shares. I was like, yeah, daddy had a lot of shares. So she's like, yeah, so just grab it and then just try and figure out what's going on. And I think she gave me the formula at the time. She goes, so if you need to check how many units he has, or back in the day they used to still send dividend slips through your box.
Yes.
There's a PO box somewhere in Port Harcourt. It was close to OJ area, like behind NITEL office.
Yeah.
So the used to bring it, right? So yeah, obviously I went through the dividend payout, and then on there it shows the unit. She was like, okay, so take this one. So me and her sat on the dining table. Bless her. Anyway, I'll leave that for another time. So she sat down with me and taught me how to calculate the value of the share. And then we got to Guinness. And Baba has got like 26 million naira worth of Guinness shares. I'm like, oh boy. Guinness is the big deal.
Yes.
I mean, we were obviously looking at tantalizers and AIT and those other.
Can you imagine tantalizer? Wow.
They were listed.
Yeah, listed. Yeah.
Thank you. So now like I know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So these are those Cambia shares. So we get to Nestle and we get to Zenith Bank, and I'm doing the math, and I'm seeing some heavy units, and I'm doing some shares at like 10 million, some 26 million, some this, some that, so that was, then it occurred to me, I was like, I remember first month of every year, my mom, when I was in high school, my mom
used to call you that your granddad, that your grandfather bought shares in your name.
No, it wasn't even that. She just used to tell me that I just knew that it was 19,859 that was being paid into my GT Bank Kiddies account.
Yeah.
Every January, because I was underage, right?
Yes.
So I had GT accounts. Bro, stories, man. So it will come, and then I'm like, I told her I have my own dividend. She's like, if you have your own, that means you must have shares. I'm like, yeah, daddy bought me Zenith Bank shares. That was it too. I started turning the house upside down. I had started turning the house upside down, looking for my shares. Then I eventually, so I called my mom. I was like, Mom, that money that was being paid into my account every January, like, for that money, like these shares must be like, who is that? What is coming? What company is that? She's like, daddy bought you shares. Remember, Zenith Bank. I'm like, daddy bought me shares. What? He doesn't know, because my granddad had passed away.
Yes.
So I started looking for in the house and all of that. And then obviously I'm 17 now. You start at 16, I started stealing the car to drive up and down, and then they catch you, and then you're now, since they've caught you driving, since you say you want to be driving, now you turn to driver. Yeah. So you know how it is, like now in the household. So no need to steal the car again to sneak out. Guys, I wasn't stealing the car. So now you no longer need to take the car without our permission. We're going to get you a driver's license. Obviously, it's Nigeria. So you can get you a driver's license at 17, and you can drive wherever it is you want to go to, provided you obviously do some errands. So I had a car with me, and then I remembered my grandfather's stockbroker, because he used to sit. I hope I don't start crying before the end of this podcast, but this is the living room, literally. I remember his seat being next to the landline. Okay. I remember him calling a stockbroker called City Code. So he will speak.
I know City Code, yeah.
City Code Securities, and he will be moving shares, buying more.
It used to be.
Yeah, so but they eventually moved to D-Line. So what's it called? So I now went online and looked for a City Code, and apparently they had just moved to an office in D-Line. So I went there, I explained myself to them and everything. So I think they got in touch with their Lagos office, and they were like, okay, yes, we know this man. He was one of our big customers and all that. I think the MD of the stock brokerage firm was happy to hear from me. Like, he hadn't heard from my family in the longest time. You know how it is. My grandfather passed away. My grandmother and my grandfather had only one son, and you know how African households can be. If you have one boy, the boy, like, he's
yeah.
But the so-called God that they had installed in the king's city,
yes,
not picking in that direction. You understand? So they were just happy at least somebody's brain was picking in the securities direction. So we started to do the investigation, but they told me I needed to pay some money for the investigation. So I started to rally around. I think how much did I need? I don't even know how I was able to be. I had
resourceful, very resourceful.
So I did collect from everywhere. So it wasn't much. Maybe you collect 25,000 naira, you collect 50K from here, you don't owe 200,000 naira. So they said they needed. Is Nigerian Stock Exchange to investigate and do all these things doesn't really cost that much. 16.5, 22,000. So I paid. You understand? And they conducted the investigation, and they traced my shares to Zenith Bank. I actually had I think about 23,000 units of Zenith Bank shares he had bought for me. And yeah, that was pretty much the beginning of it. But I was 17 at the time. And then I turned 18. So I quickly went to Access Bank and I created a current account. This process took like better part of 8 months. That was when I knew that,
and you stayed on it for that 8 months?
I was on it for 8 months.
Was that when you started watching Bloomberg? Was that when you started watching Bloomberg obsessively?
Yeah, so I started watching Bloomberg obsessively after I watched the movie, Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. And then I obviously calculated the shares and everything. So the truth is, when I used to watch CNN with my grandparents, on CNN, even on CNN, you can see the ticker on NASDAQ, S&P 500, FTSE.
Yes.
You see everything. I used to ask my grandmother, hey, mommy, what's going on there? My grandmother will refer me back to my mom and be like, I sent your mother to school, University of Port Harcourt, to study economics. She should tell you, so that was it. But a couple of times I had stumbled on Bloomberg and CNBC.
Yes.
Bloomberg and CNBC, like a portion of the screen is just numbers. So
yes,
at the time I was like, I can't watch this. This is too much. When I then watched the movie and I had a fair idea of what's going on in the markets, I went back to the channel CNBC and Bloomberg, and everything made sense to me. And that was how I obsessively started watching it. Bro, Bloomberg, I watched Bloomberg from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Come on. I like this kind of obsession. Yeah, that's it.
Everybody, Manus Cranny wakes up in London, first of all.
Yeah.
Manus? Manus
yes.
wakes up in London. Exactly. And there are a couple of other people that have been changed. Then you go over to New York session. Before New York session opens, you have Tim Keane, who does his podcast. And then you have Scarlett Fu, you have Betty Liu. I think Betty has moved to New York Stock Exchange now. We had Trish Reagan. She was so beautiful. Trish Reagan used to do Closing Bell on Bloomberg with Matt Miller. Was it Matt Miller?
Matt Miller was very stylish as well. It was very stylish.
Yeah.
It was very stylish. It was very stylish, yeah.
And then you obviously go over to CNBC and watch Jimmy the Crammer. And then I used to watch it every time. And then obviously they had a lot of nice adverts. Franklin Stapleton, what's the name of that company? Franklin something. And FX Pro. Then you start seeing the Forex brokers advertise their products, markets.com and everything. And then and those adverts, you could literally see Wall Street, the build.
You said you were so obsessed by it that you knew where the bull was facing.
I knew where the bull was facing. I had not even left the shores.
And you had not left in the shores of Nigeria.
I had not gone anywhere.
Let me fast track a little bit. There's something you said in my research of you. You went to Coventry University in the UK, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And you used to go from Coventry to Canary Wharf.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. And you were in this coffee store one day and you met a guy. You were doing your trade, and then you had a conversation with the guy, and that was your first, in quotes, mentor. What do you say to people, to young people who are afraid to take risk, just expose themselves in the right places? Because you never can tell what will happen when you expose yourself to these things. Random things may bring great things in your life.
So the gospel truth about risk is this. A lot of people are living a very dispassionate life. A lot of people are just walking zombies. A lot of people are not living out their purpose. I used to date this girl. She used to wake up in the morning, go to work. I mean, she liked what she did, but she lived a very mundane life. I just used to look at her with so much pity. And the thing is, people that do that, they give themselves an excuse like, I just like this.
Yes.
But when you see people who are doing big things, you start to hate and snag on them. That's when I realized that there was a real issue, because a lot of people they're not living their truth. You know what? They're not living their truth because they're too scared to even try anything outside of their comfort zone.
Amazing.
They're too scared to fail. Before I tell you about the coffee shop story, there's something I used to tell my CFO when I had a CFO, best believe I was still in second year of university. His name is Chidebere. He was in my house over the weekend. We had dinner. I used to tell Chidi, he's a big boy now. I used to tell Chidi, I said, Chidi, now is the time to fail. What was that? Because at the time, we were in Canary Wharf, we had a lot of crazy things. I'm going to still come back to that question. We've done a lot of crazy things. We seem to be on the top of things. We were barely 22 years old.
Yeah.
And I was telling him now is the time to fail. So he was scared. He was like, does that mean we're going to fail? I said, no. But I'd rather fail now that I have no responsibilities.
Come on, brother.
I owe nobody school fees. I don't even need to take care of myself because I'm still in pocket
money.
All I need to do is make up with my parents and make up with my family, because I used to fight half the time. You guys don't tell me what to do. I know what I want to do in my life. Really and truly, all I need to do, I said, even when I go back to Nigeria, I'm still going to stay in my family house. If I tell them I'm moving out of my family house, they won't even let me. So, bro, and the same goes well. So I said, we're 21, 22 respectively. Now is the time for us to fail. So my imagination knows no bounds. I want to try everything that I can possibly put my...
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened. We went for the stars. By the time I was in my second year in university, when my friends were going off to do their internship, they managed, that's the people that they gave internship to, because those UK banks, they will only pick the top. If you're not from London School of Economics, you're not from Imperial College, you don't want to listen to what you got to say. And I'm at Coventry University, like that's not. So whilst all my friends were scrambling to get an internship, I told him, I said, yo, Chidi, you know what's going to happen, bro? I made some good money off trading. I'm going to go to Canary Wharf. I'm going to go rent myself an office for the summer. Rodriguez, you know, good. I still have to say I'm only here for 3 months, 2.5 to 3 months. And then I want the flow. Let's have the flow. And it's crazy because I was there. I used my last money for us to go to London, went and shopped, rented an S-Class. It's not today I started using an S-Class. I've been using an S-Class since I was 21. Went to TM Louis, House and Curtis, Agent Street. I was on Oxford Street. I did a madness in Canary Wharf, and I said to him, bro, it's now or never. I need... whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. But it's crazy, Paul, because I did fail. Say like Superman story, we got there, we conquered the world. No. But you know the best part of the failure was I failed, but I failed.
Yes.
Do you know what makes me so successful today? I know all the things not to do.
Yes. Can I give you a mental model for that? Charlie Munger said that. He calls it inversion thinking. He said, don't allow that man.
Yeah.
Therefore, I should gift you his book when you're coming for the summer. Don't buy it. His latest book is called the Poor Charlie's Almanac. I bought it for all my big friends. I'm gonna buy it for you. So I'm gonna give that to you as you come for the summer. So he said that ask yourself, how can I have a great marriage? So ask yourself, what are the top 10 things that will destroy the marriage? Do the opposite of those.
Charlie,
so inversion thinking. So that's what happened to you. You failed forward. You made some wrong bets. But hey, you learned.
Let me even tell you one quick story, right? So one time I'm in the office in Canary Wharf, and then one Nigerian guy sat there. So we're taking most of the floor, but the Regos also had like some pods, some small pods in the lobby. And then the guy had seen me like, guy is young. Young boy. But he couldn't ask me because obviously everybody was suit and ties. What I didn't do here.
Exactly.
That kind of things. But he obviously tried to strike conversation with me and everything. And one day, he saw me at the elevator. I was so stressed out. Money we were expecting to come in wasn't coming in. And he could tell, like, he could read the body language. Are you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm good. And then he just tapped me on my back. He said, bro, you're doing a great job, man. And I was like, you think so? He was like, trust me, you are doing a great job. And yeah, the rest they say is history. We went there, came back from Canary Wharf. I didn't have any more money left with me. But today, I think Uncle Aliko needs to watch his back because I'm coming from.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
That's it.
It's very powerful. There's something that you said, and I really like that point where you were in Dubai, they flew you to Doha on a private jet. That was when you entered the private jet for the first time. Of course, now you fly private a lot more. And then when you go to Doha, the potential clients there, now they're your clients. Yeah. First, they offered $150 million. You guys discussed to reduce it. But there's something the guy said. The guy said, Dakpo, I watch your YouTube videos. I even took your calls. I thought that was very, very powerful. Like, you don't know who's watching you. Can you speak to the fact of, the power of content? How it has helped your business as we begin to tie this up? Yeah.
So, where do I start from in terms of content? I mean, right now, I don't even think I've even scratched the surface when it comes to content. I've got my videographer here. I'm in Lagos. We literally just had a lunch with the Prime Minister of Grenada. That's why I'm actually a bit late. He flew into Lagos.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, I mean, those kind of high-level stuff, I even have to carry my videographer around. So to answer your question, content is king. Content, because content changed my life. This is not a trading podcast, so I think I'm at liberty to say trading didn't change my life. Content changed my life.
Come on.
Because content now started to amplify my skills.
Did it affect your deal flow?
Did it increase my deal flow? I mean, you're trying to get to me, bro. What do you mean if it affected you? Multiplied my deal flow. Like, do you know? And I'll even tell you, there's even a downside to it because then you have too many deal flows coming. But let me talk about content itself. So, I mean, I flew to Dubai. I spent most of lockdown in Nigeria with my mom and my grandmother. I'd flown back to the family house. Obviously after being in London for so long. So I flew to Nigeria to be with my mom and my grandmother. I wanted to be with them throughout the entire, because we didn't know if the world was going to end.
Yes.
So I was in Port Harcourt, back where I learned how to do everything from. I'm going to Canary Wharf and everything. I'm blasted. Fantastic, amazing life in the UK. So I was back in Port Harcourt. I got time to really think and process everything. And I remember when I used to live in the UK, I used to do a lot of live speaking events. Open at several universities, University of Nottingham. If you go on my Facebook page, Instagram is all recent stuff and all of that. If you go on my Facebook page, you see me around the Canary Wharf times. What I used to literally, this was the business model. Like, we would go and then we'll speak at different universities. I've spoken at the University of Nottingham, Coventry University, of course, University of Hertfordshire, University of Edinburgh, Warwick University, probably about top, maybe like 10 different universities. So, but then obviously I'll finish the speech and then everybody will be wild and all that. But I realized that, I mean, maybe if a hall of 120 people, maybe we'll be able to poach maybe 20 people at best. It was was decent, but it wasn't fantastic. So after some time, I really got discouraged when it came to doing live speaking. I'm trying to get to why content is so important. So me being back in me, obviously I used to fly back to Nigeria a lot, and I remember I'd literally not done a live speaking gig in almost 2 years. And then one time my dad is literally bugging me like, Daps, listen, my church, they're doing this live event. It's called Digital Wealth Week, and I've spoken so much about you to my part. And at the time, Facebook was more of images. So I would just post, just finish an event, video content, right? So people who went for the events knew me, people who followed me on Facebook, and Facebook wasn't a public place per se. It was more of your friends. So it's even a close knitted people that are seeing you.
Yeah.
So my dad is like, yo, you need to come. Like, he's my dad, so obviously he believes in me, even if what I'm saying is gibberish. So I go to the church, and then I ain't been on stage for 2 years. I panicked, so I literally went there with a presentation slide, and then I go on stage. Once I saw people in front of me, I didn't even need to look at the slide anymore. It was go time. Wowed everybody, including the general overseer of the church. And when I was done, to take pictures and I wasn't the only speaker. I was one of the last speakers, but I noticed the audience was sleeping off on everything. So I think when something is your calling, is your calling.
It is, yeah.
I guess
it is.
So I think one thing that is my calling is actually my ability to
communicate,
speak to communicate. That's one of my strongest assets before even trading. So I was wild them and everything, and I was like, okay, wow, like that gave me the confidence. Okay, I still have it in me. A couple of brokers obviously started to fly me out to different parts of Nigeria to do speaking on their behalf. Started getting paid for that as well. A whole of 250 people. I'll make sure 200 people signed up just by me speaking to them. But one day I sat down and I was telling my dad, I said, yo, Dad, the world is moving past live events, and at the time I started watching a lot of YouTube videos, the young small boys. And this time I'm turning 23, 24. I'm seeing 19, 20, 21-year-old boys on YouTube driving Lamborghinis. And I said to my dad, I'm like, yo, Dad, like for how long, like, the thing about speaking to people in the classroom or speaking to people in the hall, 200 people, is only 200 people are going to hear this message.
That's right. That's right.
I need my message to reach more people.
So you have to scale the message.
Scale this message. So I now had to go out now in 3-month period whereby, I was like, Paul, you won't believe something, right? At the time, I would comfortably speak to 50,000 people. Like I would speak to 50,000 people and not flinch and be okay. But the moment you put a camera in front of me, I don't even know, like I will start to fumble my lines. But people, if you're listening to this, you see me, I'm flowing very well in front of these cameras. I got 3-4 cameras in front of me. When I try to start putting my message on digital platforms, I used to do rubbish. And I had to train myself because that was the future. That was the only way. Yeah. That was the only way I needed to put. I told my dad, Daddy, I need to put, like, sometimes you call me, why are you? So I said, what you're doing? I said, Dad, I need to put the camera on. Like, I was hard on myself, I said, okay, then, but you're so good, because, I mean, it's, you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses.
Exactly.
Only looking at your strengths and telling you are great, but you know that, look, there's this thing, and if I could be here, I'm not comfortable. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So lockdown, my head just switched. And then you start overthinking everything. I need a new camera, blah, blah. One day I just put my iPhone on, bought a tripod, told my grandmother, and my grandmother is on the man, obviously, and what happened. And then we went to the shop. My grandmother loves going shopping, so I put her in the car and I drive. Obviously, I have a significant amount of money that I've made from trading. And I went and just bought little things for like a mini studio setup. I'll just be there, just recording. So what I did was, if you're listening to this, I started off with webinars. So with webinars, they're people.
Yeah.
The problem I had was I just didn't understand how I would just be talking to a camera and I couldn't see any reaction. So I couldn't tell if what I was saying was rubbish. Listening to this and you're having challenges, putting out content and all that, you whatever mental limitation you have might vary from mine, but I'm just telling you what my own issue was.
Yeah.
Camera in front of me. This is a thing. If I'm cracking a joke, if there's an audience, I can tell if what I'm saying makes sense by their body language.
Exactly.
Camera, no body language. So that was my challenge. But long story short, bro, I just put the camera on and I just used to talk. And so like, sorry, back to what I was saying. So I started with webinars. So on the webinars, I will always say, if you're feeling what I'm saying, type Y in the question box, and bro, the Y's will high level of engagement. So I use my strength to try and pivot into my weaknesses. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got so what it was, I started doing webinars. So now I'd gone from doing live events with only 200 and something people. Now, at least with webinars, I could reach the bigger audience that I wanted to reach.
Yes, yes.
As a proper video. So obviously to do webinars, and then I started putting on the camera whilst I was doing webinars. And after some time, I just look at the guy, hi guys, my name is Police, amazing to have you here, blah blah blah. It's your boy, I'm chilling with you, blah blah blah. Talk. So now I just used to do that, and I spent most of lockdown doing that. So as at the time when I got to Dubai, I moved into I literally did not know anybody in Dubai.
Wow. Choice, man.
Very expensive city. So I started putting out a lot of content. You wouldn't believe I was recording 3 YouTube videos a day.
Whoa.
This is where they go now. I wake up in the morning, I'll iron my shirts. I did it like I was a full-time job.
Come on, man.
Who got everything. Obviously, I practiced a lot lockdown. It was I said, this is my job. I iron my shirt in the morning. I will record a video. By the time I'm done with that, I'll script out the next one. So at the time I was doing 2-3 videos a day and editing them, and we were publishing them. And channel just started to gain some traction. And obviously, I started putting out a lot. So I was trading, but whatever thing it is I was trading, I was doing the analysis. I would publish it and then I would trade it. So I just wanted to make a name for myself, the community, nothing to, you understand? Like, I just wanted to, do you understand, diversify income and all of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd made a certain amount of money from trading, but I felt like I could be more. Bro, before I knew, I think there was a video I released one time on YouTube. You never really know where your big break will come.
Yes, ready to go viral.
That took things to the next level actually was when I had just come back from Qatar. So before that video, all the trader talk videos I was doing talking about the markets, I didn't know people were watching. Like, I didn't know it was going beyond. I thought it was just my webinar audience people and a couple more people that were watching it. I had chief investment officers of top hedge funds were watching my shit. I had no idea. You really never know who's watching.
You never can tell, man.
You know who's watching you. So, and then obviously, like you said, I got there and they were like, yeah, I watch your videos. I'm
very powerful.
Matter of fact, I always anticipate for when your videos will come out.
Oh.
Ask me, I know you release your videos on Saturdays.
That level of detail.
I hope this meeting is not going to interfere with your video that's coming out. I told the guy right now, and I need guidance. This is what he said to me, and it wasn't just one, like 8 guys who had been watching my videos, and I was like, wow, they're taking my courses there. But because trading is it's an extreme sport, if you know what I mean. It's tough in there. The markets are crazy. To see somebody, did it go off? To see somebody chop up the charts the way I chop up the charts, they were obviously amazed, like, wow. So they bought the course. I was pretty much their teacher, and guys, there's something I want to tell you, please. This is the importance of content. There was a contract I was chasing in Nigeria in 2018. It was so difficult for me to secure the contract simply because the man who was supposed to sign off for the contract, he knew me, but he didn't know me. Like, he knew me, like, I know him but he didn't know me, like, know me on a high level.
Yes, on a high level, yes.
When I walked into that meeting in Doha, those motherfuckers knew me. So when you are doing business with people that already know you, it's a done deal.
Yes. And now they can know you. They can know you virtually now.
Yes. So moral of the story is the contract I was trying to chase in Nigeria, the guy was doing it, come today, come tomorrow, come today, because he never seen my, like, at the time, I was a nobody. If we're being honest, 2018, I didn't have anything out there on the internet properly. You're talking 2021, yeah? I had so much content on the internet. They were begging me to give me their money. But in 2018, because I didn't have any content out there, they were telling me, come today, come tomorrow. So there's a concept called positioning and prospecting. What most people do is they're prospecting. They put together proposals. They're chasing this person up and down the whole place. Nappings, Shell, NNPC, these. You're chasing all the big men up and down the whole place with your proposal. That's called prospecting. That's the wrong way to go about it. You need to position your damn self as an authority, and then you start to act.
Yeah.
Don't position, and the only way you can position is through content production, Mr. Paul. So for me, content, like I can go on and on about content.
So powerful.
Everything up.
So powerful.
If you're watching this, put some content together, man.
Very powerful. Wow. Yeah. I know that your time is very, very valuable. I'm really loving this conversation. So a quick fire round. What's the one book that you've gifted to people the most? What's the one book? No. What's the one book that you've gifted to people or you've recommended to people and say, you got to read this book?
Okay. I don't read books, by the way, but I'll tell you. What's a book that I've read from cover to cover? Give me a sec. Okay. There's a book, I can't really remember the name, but there was Warren Buffett's book. The book literally is got cartoon, like it's Warren Buffett's life story, but it's got cartoon characters.
Yeah, I think I've seen that book.
Yeah. So that is for people who struggle with finance and investing. Like most finance books out there are very
boring. Yes, complex.
Yeah, but that one for me was very exciting because everything they were talking about, everything Warren did, I could see the pictures. He was a newspaper man, a newspaper boy at the age of 8. The money he made from selling newspapers, he told his dad to open a stock brokerage account in his dad's name. He started to invest in Coca-Cola. And the book takes you from the beginning to almost obviously towards the end of Warren Buffett's life. So if you're trying to get into investing and you want a story that can inspire you, that is not going to give you brain freeze, you can start with that. I really like that, but I don't read books. I'm not the type to.
Fantastic. Fair enough.
I struggled very seriously in high school because I just don't like reading books.
But you learn a lot from observing and watching.
Yes. So when I got to Coventry University, in Nigeria, you have to read and you have to pour it out. I really struggled. My grades were fluctuating so badly. But when I got to Coventry University, the teaching style is different.
Yeah.
You're watching more videos. And this is a lesson to everybody. I didn't know I was this intelligent until I found my learning style.
Whoa.
Paul, I don't think you want to leave this podcast. I got gems for you guys. If you leave this early, you're doing your audience is very.
Please go ahead. Can I take a break?
Yeah, of course. Take your time. If you need.
So you were talking about your learning style. So you were talking about your learning style when you went to Coventry. You now realize that this is how you learn, and you didn't know how intelligent you were until you discovered it.
They're forcing kids. You got 45 kids in the classroom. You're forcing everybody to learn the exact same way.
Yeah.
People who cannot assimilate like other students, you're calling them dumb. The educational system in Nigeria has failed kids. School failed me. I didn't fail school.
I like that. Yeah, don't be bombs, man.
The richest black man in the world at some point. So you cannot tell me I failed school. School failed me. My professors ain't got nothing on me. They all message Facebook right now. I'm paying my professors rent and all that shit up and down the whole place, sending them money half the time. You failed me. You told me I wasn't good enough, but now I'm taking care of you. No pun intended. I'll do it because I love you guys, but Paul, you'd be the judge of this. I didn't fail school. School failed me. They failed to identify what this guy was good at. Although there was a teacher in my high school, Mrs. Johnson, and one of my other English teacher, and she took me in because all the teachers were like, She was quite an influential teacher at the time, and I was doing really badly. But she structured me in such a way whereby you won't believe that in as much as I wasn't doing very well in school, I ended up becoming the senior prefect of my school because somebody identified something in me and guided me. I was a senior prefect in my school. I was. Oh, and then that gave me confidence because you're telling this child doesn't know anything, you're dumb, you're this, you're that. And I get to the UK and first of all, I'm even studying sciences in secondary school, which I shouldn't even have been doing that in the first place. And parents are not even doing a great job because the truth is, I wanted to become a pilot. I like flying. But my parents told me, you have to do aerospace technology. You have to do aerospace engineering before you fly. You see, they were not even thinking. My mom is going to watch this and mommy, that wasn't exactly bright of you, but I love you. That was not a bright move at all. She knows. I don't even. So, and then I'm studying sciences, which I shouldn't have been doing. And then I get to the UK and they sent me to the UK to actually study aerospace technology. I get there and I change to business management. Paul, I get into this is somebody who struggled to get his my IGCSE result was D to C's. That's why I went to Coventry University because it was a low entry. University was picking all the Nigerians. If you get results, you don't get results. As long as you don't write exam. I had D and 2 C's. So doing sciences, I shouldn't have been doing that, but they put me in. I went to Coventry University. I was there, like, I cannot do chemistry for another year. I saw the chemistry professor, his glasses look exactly like yours. I'm like, I ain't doing this shit with this nigga, no, man. You to the business and humanities pathway. They put me in the classroom. Long story short, me and my friend, my CFO, who eventually became my CFO, that's why he's my CFO. By the time we were done with International Foundation Program, we had all A's and we got a scholarship I had a scholarship in my first year of Coventry University. First year. Like after IFP.
I can imagine how your mom felt, man.
Imagine just 1 year in the UK, doing what I wanted to do, my environment, knowing my learning style.
Yeah. Self-awareness.
My learning style is watching videos. I learned how to trade Forex on YouTube.
My goodness, Mike.
I learned how to trade on YouTube. So you asked me what books do I like? I just told you.
Watch your movie, man. Watch YouTube.
Yeah, and then click for there's a book called Traffic Secret. No.
Russell Brunson.
Yeah, so you need .com secrets.
Yes.
Read Expert Secrets and Traffic. .com secrets is .com secrets is the only book I've read cover to cover. Expert Secrets as well, and then Traffic Secrets as well. These are the only books I've ever read cover to cover, apart from the Warren Buffett one. Apart from that, I don't read. But you see YouTube, if you want to change your life, go and watch Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone changed my life.
Yeah, I feel the same way as well.
Bro.
Yeah, I feel the same way as well. It's a great man. It's a great man. No matter what people say, it's a great man.
Great guy. He's
great guy.
About the objections to the sale. And yes. I just closed the sale and you are seeing the private jets he's buying with this.
Yes, it's sale, yeah.
But you put me in a chemistry, you put me in a physics class, and this shit is abstract. You're telling me about Newton's law of physics. Bro, at least throw some freaking apple from the tree. Let me even visualize this thing. No.
It's a good place.
Lives, going. I got stories for days, man. You know what? Let's look at the reaction from this podcast.
Exactly, and then we can do a part 2.
If it's good, you really like it, come back with other more detailed questions that you didn't ask me here. I'll blow everything.
Yeah.
I'll come teach them something new. All right.
Before I get into that, I want to thank we have a new presenting sponsor for the Paul Fo podcast now. Woo! I'm happy to announce that Seller is now the presenting sponsor of the Paul Fo podcast in this season of the Paul Fo podcast. Do you have a book inside of you? Do you have a creator business inside of you? Seller is an e-commerce platform that you can turn your ideas into products and services. Every product I sell online, I use the Seller platforms, and a lot of Africans and Nigerians and Africans in diaspora use Seller as a platform to sell their product and your service. If you want to sign up with Seller, click on the link in the show notes as you are enjoying this episode. You will thank me later. Speaking about selling yourself and learning how to sell. All right. I put together 2 of my books. Irresistible, how to attract your ideal customers, and 15 simple ways to sell anything to anyone, plus 2 of my past webinars, 5 hours each, 10 hours of great content about sales and marketing, plus 23 book summaries, including this one that I'm just reading right now, that I'm doing a podcast about right now. I summarize the book and its application to your business. You get all of that for less than $10. If you want that, click on the link on the show notes. If you're listening to this on Spotify, the link on the show notes if you're watching me on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, and get that. A lot of people have been getting it, and somebody said to me that, you mean I got all of this value for less than $10, Paul? It feels like I cheated you.